me out. Now, what does that mean? Well, guys, I officially have signed up my son for jujitsu classes. He is 4.5 years old, so his birthday's in March. So, is it half yet? Almost, I believe. Yeah. So he went ahead and he started his journey. I, I would say about 6 months ago when he was like 4 years old, but he was still kind of a little bit too young. And when we took him to the jiu-jitsu classes, he wasn't really understanding, he wasn't really understanding what's going on. And I don't think he was mentally developed yet to the point where he could really pay attention to the teachers and everybody else. And so, but I did want to kind of give that feel for him and show him how to go ahead and approach jujitsu and see how he reacts to it. And so we ended up doing that a couple times. He took some jujitsu classes and he liked it. He really did like it. And what's nice about it is that the instructors are very nice. So it's also a great thing. It's also a great camaraderie with the children there because these are kids' classes. And he is now fully signed up for his jujitsu classes. And what's nice about it is that my mother, she's the one that takes him to these classes. And so we unfortunately cannot make it most of the time because we work and we get out of work after 5. Sometimes I'm home around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. But my mom, she has a flexible schedule at work. And during the week, we're blessed enough that she lives close by, literally down the block from us, which is crazy how that happened, but it did happen. So it's a blessing for us. And now she gets to spend this time with my son, and it's just wonderful. She picks him up from school. He has his little backpack. He has his jujitsu clothes now, and they go there. And there's the instructor. They go at 5 o'clock, and it's about an hour class. And I asked him, I'm like, Tyler, so you like in jujitsu? He's like, yeah, I like jujitsu. And then I see him on these videos, and I'm just like, it's so amazing to see him develop not only as a child, but now developing and learning how to maneuver and maneuver his body in a certain way, and how he's reacting to what the coaches are telling him, because obviously he's more mentally developed as well, and he's paying more attention now. He has a bigger vocabulary, and so I think at 4.5 years old right now is a great time for him to start jujitsu, and it's very exciting for me because I've been doing jujitsu for over 4 years now. I do no gi, and I've competed as well, and it's something that I really enjoy because I tried on Muay Thai and boxing and everything else. And whether it was great, it was a great workout. I just wasn't a big fan of coming after work and just getting punched in the face for about an hour. So that wasn't my thing. But when I tried jujitsu, it actually, you have to be creative, right? So no pun intended, but you have to be creative because it's like human chess. And when I see my son playing human chess right now, how he moves, his footwork, and everything else, it makes me be a proud father. But also, it allows him to develop discipline, number one, right? So he's going to be disciplined. It's also going to develop him to understand how to stay consistent. But one of the biggest things is he's going to be able to take jujitsu for the rest of his life. This is never going to go away for him. And I personally believe that jujitsu or any sort of martial arts go much farther than any sports go. And I'll tell you why. A very, very small percentage of athletes will make it to college, professional college players, or in the actual leagues itself. And they'll play soccer, they'll play basketball, they'll play football. Great, it's all great and gravy. But the one thing is, eventually that will stop, right? A lot of them will quit. Most of them are not going to be good enough to make it to the major leagues. It's a very small percentage, by the way. But martial arts and jujitsu will stay with them for the rest of their life, and they will be able to defend themselves. If they're in school and they're getting bullied, they're not going to be getting bullied. because literally there is no bullying guys that know how to fight, right? Um, and so that is something that I strongly believe every parent should do for their children. I think you're doing a disservice for your kids by not putting them into some sort of martial arts class, because it does develop that discipline, it develops that confidence, and also it develops, it develops self-defense as well. Like if you have to, for whatever reason, you get into an altercation, you're so confident in your skills and your ability that nothing really phases you at that point. So what Dana White actually did say, I'm a big fan of Dana White. I'm a big fan of jujitsu, but Dana White said, if I could do it all over again, I would have put my kids in jujitsu first. So he's a big believer in starting early. And one quote he said about putting his jujitsu first, he also sees jujitsu as the root of the UFC. So if your kids start jujitsu and they become really good at it, next is striking, next is everything else. Maybe they want to become a professional MMA fighter. Who knows? But obviously, it's not about size or strength. It's about the technique that usually wins. And it's also very humbling too, because you could be a very big guy and you can go against a very small guy and you can get destroyed. If you guys are jujitsu fans and you're watching jujitsu, if you look at Mighty Mouse, he went against a he went into absolute weight, which is like there's no weight class, and he's like on 135 pounds. I think this guy was like 260. And Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, he's a GOAT from the UFC. His record is impeccable, and he submitted this guy. He's 120, 25, 135 pounds max. This guy was like 260 pounds. He submitted this guy, and it's just amazing. And he nothing but jujitsu that he used. And so, if that wasn't humbling enough for that big man getting submitted by a 135 pound person, 135-pound man, and I don't know what is. But as Dana White said, it's an eye-opening, mind-blowing experience. The most humbling thing you can do as a man. He admitted it smashed his confidence, especially when he realized how thoroughly someone could take control on the ground. And what's nice about jujitsu is that you're comfortable on the ground. So if somebody knocks you down, you don't get afraid, you don't panic, you don't get scared, because you're comfortable being on the ground. Because a lot of times we do end up on the ground and we do ground fighting, we get out of those positions and then we wrestle up and do things like that. And it's just a very, very good experience. I'm really, really happy that my son is able to share this experience with me, because it helped me a lot, not only mentally, but I call my mental safe haven, right? Whenever I go there, my mental chest and all my anxiety, all my worries, everything is gone for that 1 hour when it's just me and that other person. And we have to, and whoever sees that move first before that other person does, whoever understands the game of chess, the human chess game, is usually the one that wins. And it's very fun to see and watch people not only grow and develop in jiu-jitsu, but get better. And then you're also rolling with people that are black belts, brown belts, blue belts. And what's nice at no gi. No gi is when we don't actually wear the whole like outfit. It's just like a shirt like I have on right now. It's a rash guard and some shorts and some spats. And it's just full blown speed wrestling, jujitsu. I'm talking about it's very, very fast. So you can get submitted very, very quickly. I actually did try gi. I did it for my friend Abraham Gray. He owns a couple of jiu-jitsu gyms in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you guys are out there, definitely check it out. His gyms are out there, I believe. What it's called, Octopus. I think they're called Octopus gyms, but I have to double check that. But if you guys are listening and you're around Atlanta, Georgia, just hit me a DM and I'll shoot you over his gyms and his locations. He has some really good instructors. and I've actually rolled with him. He always says he can submit me, which he has submitted me. I'm not gonna lie, But I put the gi on for the first time for him. I've never put the gi on before for anybody in my life, but I put the gi on for him, and I rolled around with the students with the gi. It was also a very humbling experience for me because I've never rolled in the gi, so I was never held on for such a long time and controlled. So it was also very humbling, and to see how everybody does with the gi and how the gi works. And would I do it again? Absolutely, I would do it again. I would have some fun with it. As you continue to grow, I personally myself don't even care about belts anymore or levels because I've rolled with brown belts. I've submitted them and black belts and blue belts and purple belts, and I really don't care who I roll with, and I personally don't even want to know, because when you ask them, oh, what's your belt level, your subconscious already thinks that they're better than you, right? Because they're at a higher belt, that means they've had more years. But a lot of times, if you're really good, or if you're a natural at jujitsu, you can easily submit purple belts and brown belts. Black belts are a lot harder because they understand the techniques and and they see you coming from a mile away. But brown belts and purple belts, I've submitted before, and it wasn't easy, but I've done it, and but one thing I don't do is I don't ask really, hey, what belt are you? We also have this thing at 10th Planet Lombard, which is where I go. Really cool classes, open mats, and people from all around the world come there, right? And it's kind of wild because sometimes you see celebrities there. So I was there one time, and guess who came by? Lex Friedman was there. Lex Friedman does jujitsu, and he did jujitsu with us. Lex Friedman has a very, very popular podcast, and it was really cool to see him because he's like a really like chill dude, and he does jujitsu, so it was fun. And 10th Planet, if you guys don't know, it's a very, very famous gym. Eddie Bravo started 10th Planet, and it's a very, very competitive gym. There's a lot of champions coming out of that gym, and it's all strictly no gi. So there is not one gym that has the gi outfit that others gyms do. But it is a very good gym. So if you guys are looking for jujitsu gyms, I'd recommend 10th Planet. If you're a beginner, don't go to the advanced classes because you will get destroyed, and your confidence will be down, and you'll be very, very sore, because there's a lot of guys there that are very, very good, and in advanced you're in advanced class, so people go hard, right? So you got to be careful. Make sure you make sure you get your basics down first, and understand the basics of jujitsu and the fundamentals before you go to the advanced class. I'm not saying don't check it out, but I'm also saying don't go there right away, because you're going to be you're going to be extremely humbled in advanced class at 10th Planet. I'll tell you that much. Whether you're 260, 160, it doesn't matter. If you go against somebody that's been doing it for a while, you'll be humbled very, very quickly, especially if they're a good wrestler. Especially if they're a good wrestler. So I am so excited for my son taking this journey on with me. And you know what? He's going to have to do it. I personally don't care if he doesn't like it. I mean, if he one says, Daddy, I don't want to do it, I'm going to say, you know what? Listen, you don't have to do it like consistently, but you will do it at least once a week, because every man should know how to defend himself. I'm sorry. Like, every man should know how to defend himself, especially if you have a family, or if you have children, you have a wife or partners, whatever it is that you have, you should know how to defend yourself. And then also, if you have kids that are going to school, there's going to be bullies. That bullies are going to be out there forever. They're never going to go away, no matter how hard people try to stop bullies. They're never going to go away, because it stems from the parents. Most of the time, the parents were bullies, or they're growing up in a bad household, and it's maybe sometimes it's not the kid's fault. But a lot of times, whenever I saw bullies in school when I was in high school, it's usually when I met the parents or saw the parents, it's kind of okay. Well, I kind of see where that's coming from, and so it's either the parents or bullies, and they're raising their kids that way, or they're just coming from a really bad household, negative household. Like mom and dad are fighting a lot, dad's not around, mom's not around, and the kids are just backlashing, right? And they're they're just expressing their emotions, but taking out on other people. And so sign your kids up for something. I don't care if it's not karate, Muay Thai, do if it's not jujitsu, karate, Muay Thai, but honestly, wrestling is such a good fundamental sport in any sort of martial arts, because in reality, once you take someone down, they're basically done. And you don't even have to punch them or anything. You just take them down, and if you know how to control somebody on the ground, that's it. It's kind of game over, for anybody, unless they have friends and they start punching you in the back of the head or something along those lines. But then again, you're only going to see that at bar fights, and if you're going out and you're being around a lot of belligerent, drunken people. So especially if you're younger, you're probably going to be out there partying and doing all those things. So you're going to run into people like that. But if you know how to hold your ground and you're confident, most people won't even approach you, and they'll kind of get that feeling that you're not going to back down, right? So you're not going to defend yourself. So with Tyler, what's crazy about with Tyler, my son, is he is like 99th percentile in his age group. He is a tall kid. Not only is he tall, he's stocky. He looks like one of those, like, you guys remember back in the 90s they had those commercials with those babies, the little baby running around with a diaper that was like very muscular. That's how my son looks like. He's got muscles. He's got a six pack. He has quads. Like, I'm like, what is going on with this kid? Like he is just stacked. And now you put jujitsu in front of him, and then a little bit of boxing too, which I want to get him into boxing, and he's going to be just this like unstoppable force. Maybe he'll even be the one protecting the kids in school, from bullies, right? A lot of kids like that. There's not that many of them, but when they're raised right, they're going to be the ones that, hey, if they're going to see kids getting bullied, they're going to stop that really quick. Especially Tyler, he's going to be probably taller than me, so he'll probably be like 6'2", 6'3", maybe even 6'4", I don't know, but I'm 6'2", so he'll probably be like 6'3", 6'4", maybe, because we're me and Justina, we're both tall. So she's tall, I'm tall. So we're thinking Tyler might be 6'4", but yeah, I'm just really excited for his journey. I'm going to try to make it out today, so hopefully I won't get too much too bombarded with work, but I do have a lot to do. Want to leave you guys with this, with the kids. Seriously, me growing up in elementary school and high school, it was, I'm sure it's different now, but it's all going to be the same. I think it's never going to change. So definitely recommend putting your kids in some sort of martial arts. My personal favorite is going to be jujitsu. It's always going to be jujitsu and wrestling. And I want to leave you guys with, if you're listening to this today, right now, I am doing an event in Schaumburg, Illinois. This event is going to be happening on August 28th at 6 o'clock. It's a sub-2 creative event. We're going to have some great people there. We're going to have a guest speaker. We're going to go over how we do creative deals, how we find creative deals, how we find pre-foreclosures, how we get the contract signed, the whole process. We're also going to listen to some awesome music. By the time you guys leave, you're going to know every single person there. And then we're also going to do speed business networking. So you're going to meet every single person at that event before you leave. I promise you. That's one thing that I promise everybody at my events, is that you will leave knowing every single person there. And also, if you guys are not following me, check me out on YouTube and Instagram. So it's creative_Mike with a K. For YouTube, it's just Creative Mike. And for TikTok, same thing, Creative Mike. And if you guys are in this business, in the real estate business, and you're looking to partner with somebody, or maybe start learning a little bit and seeing how we're doing things, we do have opportunities available for private money lenders in first and second lien position. So if you want to work with us and you want to invest some capital into one of our projects or into one of our deals and get a nice return, please shoot me a DM on my Instagram, which is creative_Mike. And if you're looking for any fix and flip loans or anything along those lines, maybe that you need help with, you can go to creativelending.com, and there's tons of products there for you as well. So debt service coverage ratio loans, we have gap lending. There's all sorts of lending up there, fix and flip loans. So creativelending.com with a K. And then if you also need quick transactional lending, just go to creativefunds.com with a K. So creativefunds.com is where you want to go to as well. You'll get anything you need if you want to double close, or if you're doing a Morby method, just go there. We will assist you. We can help you out, and we'll make sure that the process goes nice and smooth for you. Once again, I'm located in the Chicagoland suburbs, so if you guys are nearby, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, it's not too much of a drive. So swing on by. Every month we're doing an event. I want to see you guys there. I want to meet everybody. I love to meet people. I love to collaborate. Collaboration over competition is what I always say, is what my mentor says, Pace Morby as well. So if you guys are if you guys have time, you can get away from your families for at least a couple of hours. I would strongly recommend just coming out. It is just the event is just action taking, showing you how to take action, meeting people, collaborating with the community. If you're not in sub 2, it's okay. You can still come. You're more than welcome to come. And I will end this live by saying, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And a lot of anxiety comes from tasks that you're avoiding doing. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Well, this is it for the Creative Mike Show. My name's Creative Mike. And as always, stay creative, my friends.